West to Water Sports, ahoy! How's everybody doing? Welcome back for some more Big Bash action as the Strikers take on the Hurricanes in what should be a very good match. I'm excited for this one because these are two teams where at the moment things are very delicately poised for both of them, both fighting for a position in the finals time. XJC, ahoy there, mate, over on YouTube. West to Water Sports, of course, live on YouTube, live on TikTok, and live on Facebook, bringing you all the action week in, week out, or, as is the case here with the Big Bash, day in, day out. It really has been something to behold, this everyday thing. Apart from Christmas Day, of course. They took a Christmas Day break to be with their loved ones. But the Big Bash is set up nicely because we've got multiple teams who are more than capable of taking home the biscuits this year, or this season. Of course, it extends into the new year. Tips for this one. Now, I didn't have enough room on the screen to be able to fit everything in because I really went quite nuts. And I put on a 17-leg multi. A 17-leg multi with a potential payout of $4,700, I think. So I didn't have room to put them all on the screen, but I'll say Alex Ross would be somebody to, if you're looking for a run scorer tip, Alex Ross is going great at the moment. Jamie Overton is going great all around. He's scoring runs, he's taking wickets. So I'd be throwing down on Jamie Overton. And look, Darcy Short missed out last time. I think Darcy Short doesn't miss out twice in a row. Liam, ahoy, mate. Will, May, and ahoy over there on TikTok. Waste of World of Sports, of course, live on YouTube, live on TikTok, live on Facebook. So, yes, for those just joining in, I was explaining I've got a 17-legger on this game, which will, if it wins, it'll pay out $4,700 for a $2 wager. A $2 stake is well worth the risk for that potential payout, I say. And I would say that everybody agrees with that. But of course, on the YouTube, I don't have enough room on the screen to put 17 legs. McDermott plus 10, Matt Short, 1 wicket. This is Liam's multi, Liam on TikTok. Jamie Overton's in there somewhere, right? Johnny Wick, ahoy there, welcome along. Will Main, I'm in Queensland. Hot and burning and scorching Queensland. Blake, ahoy there, mate, how are you doing? It should be a great contest, this one, because the Strikers and the Hurricanes are both just sitting around mid-table. A win for the Strikers will most certainly lift them up into the top 4. A win for the Hurricanes, of course, coming off the back of a big, big win over the Perth Scorchers. They've made a statement. So they'll be looking to double down on that statement. And they'll probably drift into the top 4 as well. Crazy how the Stars lost last night. That all went downhill very, very quickly, didn't it? So the Adelaide Strikers have won the bat flip and they will field first, which gives the Strikers a natural advantage, I think, because we have seen a lot of success for the teams chasing in the recent matches. Seems to be the way that this tournament is developing, right? A lot more success coming from the teams chasing than the ones setting the score. Harley's AFL talk, ahoy, mate. And the Strikers confusing me here because they've come out in an alternate strip. Very, very bizarre. Of all the teams to wear this particular alternate strip, they've picked the Hobart Hurricanes, who, of course, wear purple. And here come the Hurricanes batsmen. Should be a very good match, this one. As I said, both teams just hovering around mid-table. And they can go on a big leapfrog. Either one of them picking up a victory here. Adelaide Strikers winning the toss and electing to bowl. We're about to get underway in this one. Strikers, Hurricanes. Who do I go for, Will? I go for the Brisbane Heat. Alex Ross on the player mic. Hard to know what a pass score will be, of course, until we see. No, Brisbane lost last night. Lost horribly. They got absolutely slaughtered. Mitch Owen on strike. It was the Brisbane Heat of old, the Brisbane Heat that we're unfortunately used to. And Caleb Jewell down the non-strikers end. Expect some big hitting early on in the piece here. Ben McDermott's missed out a couple of times. I don't suspect that that's going to keep happening. And it's Matt Short opening the bowling. Here we go. There'll be a few multis on the line immediately. Well, not on the line, but he could start very well, and he does start very well, Matt Short. Floats this one up, trying to tempt Owen into a shot. Resisting the urge for now. Floats it up a little bit too far outside off stump on this occasion. And a beautiful, beautiful slash outside off stump there and away for four. Mitch Owens off and running. And so too are the Hobart Hurricanes, the home side. Oh, a little outside edge here past the keeper. That is racing over the outfield. And that's another boundary. Back-to-back fours. And this is a good start for the Hobart Hurricanes. Matt Short was an interesting choice to open the bowling. I mean, I'm sure he's more than capable. I don't know. I would always open with a pace man. Down on one knee. Owen lifts it straight down to the man at long on. And there's the first breakthrough. Well, like I was just saying, it absolutely makes sense to open the bowling with Matt Short. And there is the first wicket. Everybody who had Matt Short as a wicket taker, there you go. 4 balls in, a dot ball, back-to-back boundaries, and then he gets his revenge in the best possible way. Mitch Owen, the danger man. One of a few danger men for the Hurricanes batting lineup. Gonskis. The old commentator's curse runs riot in cricket. I even did it in the test match today. I don't even really follow test cricket. Not ball by ball. I'll put it on occasionally and just see what's happening. And I put the TV on literally 2 balls before disaster struck for India. I put the TV on and I went, oh, well, these guys look very comfortable out there. This is just going to meander on to an easy draw. And then 2 balls later, run out. And then, of course, another couple of wickets fell. And India are in tatters at the moment in the test match. One for 8 here, the Hurricanes. Needless to say, they'll be disappointed with the wicket. Very happy with the 2 boundaries. And now that's 6. That's a huge hit. Shy Hope has got every piece of that. And it's over deep mid-wicket fence for 6. Well, they got the wicket, but at what expense? A lot of runs have come from it. 14 off the first over. But, crucially, a wicket down as well. Having scoreboard issues at the moment. Renegades on top. Ahoy, mate. Welcome back. Oh, this is a really tough one to call. I think this is a really, really tough one to call. Henry Thornton into the bowling attack. In my opinion, this is a true 50-50 game. Legitimately could go either way. Thornton bangs it in short. No run. Good start. All right, let's see if I can fix these screens up. Oh no, a no ball. A no ball. Well, Thornton hasn't started well. A no ball. Here's a free hit. Played away down the leg side. Keeper racing after it. Keeps it to 1. Limiting the damage. A no ball and a leg bye to start. Jason Hayden, you need hope to get 10 plus. Thornton in again, drifts onto the legs of Hope. Turns it away for 1. Nicely played. 1 for 17 it is. It is a very interesting game, hopefully. Fingers crossed. I've got 17 legs on this one. Better delivery, that one to Caleb Jewell. 17 legs for a $2 wager that will pay out $4,700. Well, let me see. I mean, it might be over already. I think it might be done already because I had Mitch Owen to score 10 plus runs. It was always a long shot, though, of course. 17 legs is insanity. Interesting start, this one for Thornton. Down the pitch to him goes Jewell, swing and a miss. A big heave at that one for no reward at all. The Hurricanes, 1 for 17, 1.4 overs gone. And Thornton after a shaky start with the no ball, got away with the free hit. And a dot ball again, beautifully bowled. Just finding that channel outside the off stump. And he beats the bat. Yes, scoreboard issues. Ah, Michelle, ahoy there. My $4,700 multi is over already. Needed Mitch Owen for 10 plus runs. Thornton, and again, wide outside of stump, slashed away. And well cut down there by the man at point. They come through for a single anyway. And it's 1 for 18 after 2. All right, so that was a good over from Thornton. Rocks or diamonds, Thornton. And it might just be diamonds today as he recovers nicely. Limits the damage there in that first over. Well, his first over, not the first over of the match. The first over of the match, of course, very confusing. Who came out of that one on top? I'm just waiting for the first power surge so that I can play my fancy graphic. Scott into the bowling attack. There goes the ramp, but Scott follows him, and then he just turns it down on the offside instead. No third man, so there's 4 runs. All the cricket traditionalists pulling their hair out over that one. Sets himself up for the ramp. The bowler follows him. He just opens the face down to third man. Now he charges. And it's a swing and a miss through to the keeper. No run. See if we can figure out those scoreboard issues as the game rolls on. And again, charges down the pitch, hits to the man at mid-off, a throw at the stumps. Risky single. But they get through successfully. Overton missing the stumps. Direct hit would have been interesting. Three balls gone here for Scott. Ball delivery, drifting onto the pads, turned away for 1. Down to deep square leg. So 1 for 23. It's not been a bad start. They'll be very disappointed with the wicket, obviously. But just teetering along here. The Hurricanes. Not good, it's not bad, it's just... they're just hovering along. 2 balls left. A big slash of this. Jewel gets the outside edge through the vacant slip cordon for 4. Gets away with it. Picks up a valuable boundary. Ah, oh, no slip. They had that man sort of wide of the wicket. Boyce, that was standing pretty wide. Final ball of the Scott over. Just bunted down for 1. And the Hurricanes, 1 for 29. 3 overs gone. Almost there at that 10 runs and over mark. And that 9.5, 10 runs and over, it's about what we've seen. It's been about standard throughout the game so far. So they're certainly on course based on what we've seen leading up to this one. Can they kick on with it? The whole tournament, of course, delicately poised at the moment. Nobody's really been able to break away and go on a winning streak. Everybody's suffered a loss, I believe. Signs of a good tournament in the making. Thornton in for his second. None for 2 off his first. They push hard for a single here. Direct hit, but the dive to the non-striker's end. It'll be enough to see him home. It was a risky single, but it's paid off this time. So Thornton, rocks and diamonds. Thornton producing a good effort at the moment. Well, just like that, he throws one up right in the slot. And Shy Hope sends it over mid-wicket for 6. The curse strikes again, and it strikes hard. Somebody needed Hope for over 10. Well, there you go. He's got it. The best power play total for the Hurricanes in BBL 14. Wow, they've had some stinkers of power plays, haven't they? If this is their best one, they've had some shockers. And they've reached it with a few balls to spare. And this over has also got them up over that 10 and over mark. 9 from the over so far from Thornton. The second over, certainly he hasn't been able to back it up. Hope dances down, gives himself some room, lifts it over the top of point and away for 4. Hope is having a field day. Mitch Owen back in the dugout. Oh, what else did I need that I failed on? Oh, under 6.5 for the first over runs. That. 2 balls left here off the power play. Hope just pushes it down to mid-on. They race through for a quick single. Taking on the arm there. Ryan, ahoy there, mate. Welcome along. That is indeed, of course, how we always anticipated the wasted world of sports to be enjoyed. As we discovered, a lot of the time during the NRL feeds, we found out that people, especially the PNG audience, don't even have access to the game. But originally, this channel was created for watching along. Mitchell Vella Sports, ahoy mate. Who did I tip? I tipped the Adelaide Strikers and don't know how to feel about that at the moment. It's early days, of course. They got a vital wicket in Mitch Owen, but they've also leaked a lot of runs. The Hobart Hurricanes' best power play in BBL 14 so far. So, despite the wicket, they've still managed to leak 10.75 runs and over. And the Hurricanes, 1 for 43. They've recovered nicely after the early wicket. And Cameron Boyce into the bowling attack, the little nugget. What can he come up with? Hope seems to be the batsman in form, 20 off 8. Has a big slash at this one, outside off. Just edges it away for a single. When will they call the power surge? Any predictions? Ryan on TikTok says, fun fact, I know where Cameron Boyce lives. Oh, swept away. And a slight misfield in the outfield there, but they'll push back for a second. Beautifully thrown in from the outfield, but well run by the Hurricanes batsman as well. So do you ever... do you live near where Cameron Boyce lives? Do you ever just cruise past the place and... I don't know, shout out random things? We've had quite a few people during the NRL streams pop in, especially, once again, the PNG audience. Oh, this is slightly off the toe of the bat, and it lands more than safely. It races away for 4. Well, he was trying to sweep that. Hope was trying to sweep that to the square leg boundary. It's off the toe end and goes down the ground. It essentially turned into a straight drive for 4. He's trying to sweep it to square leg. It's off the toe of the bat to the long off rope. Unbelievable. 8 from the over so far. And again, he goes straight. Intended to go straight this time. He picks out the gap, but long on. Moves around and covers it off, but back for 2. And that's 10 off the over again. Oh, he lives in an outer suburb in Brisbane. There you go. And plays for the Adelaide Strikers. So another Brisbane boy that doesn't play for the Brisbane Heat. There is something seriously wrong with the Brisbane Heat's recruitment and retention program. There are so many Brisbane players. And I suppose, in fairness, it is the nature of T20 cricket, isn't it? T20 cricket's not so much about loyalty to your state or your city. It's more about, where am I going to get paid the most? But I don't know. I just find that it's more prevalent from... there's former Brisbane Heat players all over the competition. Alex Ross is another one who's playing tonight. And I think Baisley's playing tonight as well, if I'm not mistaken. Chris Lynn, former Brisbane Heat player. Yeah, there's something up there. Something needs to be investigated. Jamie Overton throws a full toss-up that dips late and turns into a nice Yorker. Slightly overpitched. It was still a full toss. It was about halfway up the pad. But he gets away with it. Just the one. Wasted World of Sports free BBL tipping contest is doing quite well at the moment. Michelle's made a couple of interesting tips this week and has lost her lead. On top at the moment is Hamish. I'm in second place now, but we're all on 9 points. It's just the margin of about sixes. The sixes hit margin, the for and against. That's all that separates us top 3 at the moment. And Jim's Dogwash, Shayla Park, in 4th place. 1 behind us. Mitchell Vela Sport, you are down in 10th at the moment, but I also acknowledge that you were a late arrival to the competition. So we did have a little bit of an unfair head start on you. Overton tosses it up outside off stump. Jewel has a big slash at this outside off. And through to the keeper. And they're beating the bat a lot on that offside. The bowlers here tonight. Ryan, thank you very much for the follow over there on TikTok. I have no fancy graphics that pop up on the screen when somebody follows because I don't know how to do it. But I do see that it says it on the screen, so I will say a cheers as this one is cut away over the top of the infield, and that is a sixer. Caleb Jewell made that look so easy. Just lifts it up over the infield, and it flies off the bat 65 metres. Square of the wicket for 6. So Overton's over was spectacular up until that ball. And he ends up going for 8 off this over. 1 delivery to come and 8 from an over outside of your power play. Golden runs here for the Hurricanes. Yeah, look, I tipped the Strikers tonight. I tipped the Strikers really without any sort of confidence. I felt like this was a true 50-50 game. Ball and outside off. Hope just opens the face of the bat. Turns it away for 1. Thank you very much for the like, NRL Supercoach fan over there on TikTok. One for 63. All right, let's see if these scoreboard issues are fixed yet. Let's make maximum use of my time in between overs. No, not yet. That's okay. There's been issues with the scoreboards all day. During the test match, actually, when I was getting everything set up, it disappeared. The scoreboard disappeared for about 4 overs straight. India had collapsed to 5 wickets down, but on the scoreboard, it still said they were 2 out for 100 and whatever they were. So there's been issues all day with the scoreboards. Those are beyond my control. I'm afraid that is the nature of the beast. As Pope comes into the bowling attack. And you've got to give credit to this guy as that one's a bit wide outside off stump. Well, he's had a slash at a Jewel and he's picked out the fielder. The crappiest delivery you'll ever see, and it brings a wicket. And Lloyd Pope, well, this leads in nicely to what I was about to talk about. Because Pope, you've got to give this guy some credit, right? Because he got absolutely tonked in the final overs against Daniel Sams. They lost an unlosable game solely because of him. But he has returned fire since that opening game. He is the Adelaide Strikers' top wicket taker, and he bags one here on the second ball. I mean, I really do respect that, right? It's not about if you get knocked down, and he got knocked down and out that night, but it's all about whether you get up again. And he got up again, and he has made a statement for the rest of this tournament. He's never been tonked like that in an over ever again. He's now the Strikers' top wicket taker. He's potentially one of the top wicket takers of the entire BBL. And I, for one, basically, long story short, I have a lot of admiration for that. As Ben McDermott comes to the crease, he's missed out so far in BBL 14. But the Hurricanes really, really need him now tonight. 2 for 64 after 6.3. This is a nice foundation that's been laid, but this could all go to hell in a handbasket very, very quickly. McDermott versus the Pope. Now, did we establish if this Ben McDermott is any relation to Craig? Because I am personally getting quite sick of it. All through the NRL season, we're watching these games, and it's like players that I watched as a kid, I'm now commentating on their kids playing the sport. Like, geez, way to make me feel old. And now it's starting to happen in the cricket as well. But yes, have we established if Ben McDermott is any relation? 2 for 66 here. McDermott on strike. Needs to get a score here. And Pope 1 for 3 off his first. What a recovery, like I said, after that first match where he had a stinker. Certainly one of the pick of the bowlers in the entire tournament so far. Except for that one night. So, I want to have a look. Big Bash. I'm just curious to see now. Leaderboards in the BBL. Most wickets. Pope is the 4th highest wicket taker. Well, I wonder if it's included that one that he just took. If it doesn't include that one that he literally just took, he is now equal top wicket taker. I'll keep an eye on that. I'm so curious. Thornton back into the attack. None for 16. Well, we called him Rocks or Diamonds Thornton at the top of the stream, didn't we? And he's certainly providing rocks and diamonds at the moment. Diamonds in his first over. A whole bunch of rocks in his second. So that means he's probably due for a diamond over. Let's find out. He's got the informed batsman on strike. Hope, 32 off 16. Turns it away to the offside for at least one. They might push for 2. Oh, it's a simple 2 runs. They didn't even need to push for that. A simple 2. And Hope could be the anchor here for the Hurricanes and a big score. They'll be heavily reliant on him from here on in. Ball toss on the leg side. Clipped away, just the one. He gets away with that one. A full ball on the legs. I think it's still very much 50-50. Renegades on top. 2 for 69. They've got wickets in the dugout. They're travelling along around the 10 runs and over mark. They've still got a power surge to come. Very, very evenly poised game. Still, I don't think we are going to know a clear-cut winner in this one until about the halfway point of the Adelaide run chase. It's that level of close to swing and a miss from McDermott. And he's just struggling at the moment. Ben McDermott hasn't got going here in BBL 14 so far. And another tentative start. Renegades on top. I tipped the Strikers. But I was truly torn about it. As I said, truly torn about it. This was a real 50-50 game. Down the pitch and has a big hoik at this one. Lifts it up and over the mid-wicket fence for 6. Ben McDermott has said, enough fluffing about. It's all or nothing. And that could just be the shot that breaks the shackles for Ben McDermott. A 77-metre 6. Thornton with 2 deliveries left. McDermott finds the gap through point and cover. Jay Kidd, yes, go the Heat. But boy, didn't we suck the other night. Holy hell. I was so concerned about the Brisbane Heat's batting depth this year. And boy, the batting just didn't stand up. Such a disappointing effort. Spencer Johnson, though. Oh, can we please have 5 Spencer Johnsons? I mean, how good? Take him out somewhere. Take him out to bloody, I don't know, Area 51 or something. Wherever the US government stores all the cloning machines. And could we have 4 more of him made, please? And can we have Josh Brown back from the Renegades? That would be nice too. Heat lost wickets by run out, which cost them. Absolutely. Some stupid running. Anyway, I digress. I bitched enough about it last night. Or whenever it was. Last night, I think. I whinged about that on stream enough last night. I'll move on. 2 for 77. The Hurricanes. Hope will provide the anchor for this innings, but Ben McDermott, if he can break the shackles, then they've set themselves up nicely for a big score, potentially, anyway. Lloyd Pope back into the attack, 1 for 3 off his 1 over so far. Well, on the TV, they reckon 200 plus would be a par score. I think that might be a bit ambitious. But we'll see. Oh, someone's getting their thumb taped up. Might have copped a little bit of a stinger there on the nail. All right, Lloyd Pope bowling to McDermott. Will McDermott go for more big hits? He does. Straight up in the air. Does he get enough on it? Yes, he does. Just over the long on fence for 6. And Ben McDermott, in form with the shackles broken, is a scary thought here for the Strikers. 83 metres straight down the ground. Defunk, ahoy mate. He's cracked his bat. He wants some tape. I love that. He doesn't want to change the bat. He just wants some tape. It'll all be good. Just put some tape around it. Be ready for some more 6 hittings. Lel Pope gone for the 6 off his first ball. It'll be interesting to see what that does to his psyche. Adelaide Oval, the best deck for batting, says user 613-425-404-570. Certainly seems to be the consensus. Batsmen, they love their bats, don't they? Not a single thought of replacing it with a new one. And I'm sure he's got like 10 new ones in a bag in the dressing rooms. But no, he doesn't want that. He wants to tape up the old one and keep plugging away with that. That's what the delay was, by the way. 2 for 83. McDermott with a freshly taped bat. Just pushes this one away. Down to long off for 1. 7 from this over so far. A wicket would be massive here for the Strikers. Hope backs away. Hits it up in the air. Half a metre short of Overton. Well, that was very nearly the wicket. Didn't need to play that. Hope he gets away with it. McDermott back on strike. Just pushes this one back down the ground for 1. They've got their 6 off the over, I suppose, so they're just playing every shot now, every ball now on its merits. Fires this one in a little quicker on the legs, and Hope can't beat the man at long leg. Just a single. Great shot, but just a single. Hope floats this one up, turned away for 1. An 11 from the over. Good one there for the Hurricanes. Will Main says, since last night, now the Hurricanes are copying the Stars and Sixers. What's with the advertising? Pain relief. Allergy relief. What are they trying to suggest? That cricket is painful? Jamie Overton back into the attack now. None for 9 off his first. It was just that one delivery, though, from Overton's first over. Slower ball, full on the toes. Turned away for 1. I don't watch the AFL, Will, but my oft-times co-host, Michelle, big AFL supporter. Two for 89 here, approaching the halfway mark. Hope, 37 of 21. Gets this one off the toe of the bat. It shoots up in the air and should be taken. And it is taken by Pope. Racing backwards. And that is a huge breakthrough. Overton gets the wicket. Pope takes the catch at backward point. Oh, no, I just mean she watches it in general. I've suggested that she is more than welcome to do streams of sports that she watches that I'm not interested in. Jake Ponchi, ahoy, mate. God, excuse me. He's back in town. Big breakthrough this one for the Strikers. The Hurricanes lose their third. And Hope, well, it was a little bit of a nothing shot. He was sort of the anchor for this innings. And they would have been considering a power surge at any moment, you would think, with 2 set batsmen, McDermott starting to get his eye in. And in the context of the situation, that's a big, big wicket. I mean, it's a big wicket anyway, but certainly in the context of where this game was just finally balanced. They'll just reconsider the power surge a little bit here. It might have been just around the corner. It'll be at least 4 overs away now, I would imagine. I love my GF, says, yo, bro, did you watch the test match? I watched about... Funny story, actually. I was asleep throughout the majority of the day. I was getting everything set up for the stream for the Big Bash. So I've put the TV on, and India are like 2 for 120 something or whatever. And I've put the TV on, getting everything set up for this. And I've gone, well, yeah, looks like these batsmen look really set. It looks like it's just going to meander on, and this will just drift out into a draw. 2 balls later, after I say that, they go and run themselves out. Well, I can't even say they run themselves out. It was that dimwit who hit the ball straight to the fielder and said, I'll have a run, thanks, that was never on. And then before you knew it, 3 wickets had fallen. And I'm like, okay, well, all of Australia can buy me a beer. Because I did that. I created that. Chaudhry, the new batsman to the crease. What team do I go for in the BBL? The Brisbane Heat. So it would be very nice if the Australian selectors kicked out a few more Brisbane Heat players from the Aussie team. Oh, good old Channel 7. We've got to change over channels. God, I hate that. Liam Corson, another Liam. So many Liams. So many Liams have come through the TikTok. Liam says, if you're ever feeling sad on Christmas Day, just remember some kid got a Manchester United shirt. And even worse, imagine the amount of kids that got Brisbane Broncos jerseys. D-Funk says, I took the Strikers in this game. Me too, D-Funk. Me too. And very delicately poised to this game. At 3 for 91, 9.5 overs gone. Slower delivery. Here's a chance for a run out with a direct hit. A direct hit, but he did. Did he get his bat down? This will get reviewed. They've come through for a single. There was a big mix-up. I think he just got his bat down in the crease. Well, this could be huge. This could be massive. We saw what runouts did to the Brisbane Heat the other night. Here we go. It's a direct hit. Direct hit. He's safe. Just, 1 frame away. Ooh, boy, oh boy. He is in by the hair of a bee's nutsack. That's how close it was. 3 for 91, but it was so close to a completely unnecessary run out there. And they end the over safe at 3 for 92. Boy, that was a close one. That would have shifted the entire momentum, in my opinion, in favour of the Adelaide Strikers. As it stands right now, though, still a very delicately poised game. Sorry, Lockie. My apologies. But, yeah, the Brisbane Broncos don't do a whole lot to win me over, I'm afraid. Certain people inside the organisation, Ezra, Reese, But yeah, I mean, I go for the Cronulla Sharks, so I can't really talk. I mean, I will still talk, but I can't really. 3 for 93. Hurricanes just pushing ones now or thinking about coming back for 2. They've got the jitters between the wickets here, the Hurricanes. They have themselves set up nicely. They don't want to go throwing wickets away. Down the leg side, this will be called a wide, and it is. Yeah, Braden Trindle didn't nearly kill somebody, though, is the difference. I think that's why people are in such an uproar. The other players, Josh Adokar, of course, is another one who's not without sin. Defunk says, are the Sea Eagles making any big moves on the roster this offseason? No, they're not, but they've got a strong enough roster as it is that I think they'll still feature at finals time if they can stay fit and firing. Grady, ahoy there. Thunder's going to win the comp, you reckon? You know what? I've developed quite a soft spot for the Melbourne Renegades. I think they look the goods. Renegades look the goods. They've got such a well-balanced team. They're my smoky to win BBL 14. As a nice over this one for the Hurricanes, just pushing the singles. 5 runs from it. Well, 6 with the wide. There's even been talks, Defunk, about trying out Tommy Turbo at 5/8. Can you imagine that? I love Tommy Turbo. He's a great player. I just don't picture him as a 5/8. He's one of the best fullbacks in the game, so keep him there, I say. Scott in for his second over now. None for 11 off his first. Are they rickrolling us on the Channel 7 broadcast? Oh, don't even get me started. Don't even get me started, Lockie. On the YouTube channel, there's a podcast that I do called The League Lounge. I think I went on a tirade on that for about 20 minutes straight. I couldn't believe it. We've got an absolutely bang average player in Nico Hines locked down until something like 2029. Something ridiculous. Gave him a monster deal. And Atkinson's not even the first quality young half to come through the system that we've let go. Luke Metcalf was a Sharkies junior. Metcalf was let go and signed by the Warriors, while the Sharks re-signed Matt Moylan. As this is edged away for 4. McDermott, well, he's pushing his luck here. He is pressing his luck. But it could just be the luck that he needs to get himself back into the form that he was. Well, last BBL, specifically, I think. Wide outside off stump, but he tries to pull it to the leg side. And it will be just the 1 run. 6 from this over so far. Yeah, I've got to be honest, Defunk. I don't even know that. I don't even know that if at club level, Tommy Turbo's a centre even. Obviously, he plays centre at Origin sometimes, as this is off the top edge and almost caught. Just beats the diving short third man. And they get away with that one, the Hurricanes. Long story short, Defunk, yeah, I don't think I would have him even in the centres at Clubland. He can get away with it at Origin level just because you can get away with stuff like that at Origin level if you're a good enough player. I think it might sound ridiculous to say that he would get exposed at club level, but not Origin level. But I think the week in, week out formula, the week in, week out, what's the word that I'm looking for? Structures. The week in, week out structures at Clubland, I think, would eventually get him. And a smart opposition coach would have him figured out quick smart, whereas Origin's a bit more free-thinking, loose. There's not really structure to an Origin game. I hope I'm making sense. It makes sense in my own mind, but I'm struggling to get the words out because I'm watching the cricket. Wide outside off stump, chopped away. Out to the man at deep point, just the one run. Top three fullbacks next year, in my opinion. Well, Dylan Edwards. I mean, Dylan Edwards is the best fullback in the game. And if I'm picking a super squad, the first player on the list is Dylan Edwards. Every single day of the week and twice on Sundays, my first player picked is Dylan Edwards. Oh, Brisbane Heat versus the Sydney Sixers on Sunday. Can't wait for that one. That's going to be massive. Lloyd Pope, 2 overs, 1 for 14. What can he do in his third? Turned away, square on the leg side for just the one. 12 overs gone, 3 for 111. Dancing down the wicket here, McDermott just pushes to long on for 1. I'll give you a smoky. If he's fully fit, Jareen Buller is going to have a field day just floating up the inside of the field. I mean, think about Tedesco in his prime. Just ranging up the inside, waiting for a break, waiting for an opportunity. Just imagine a fully fit and firing Jareen Buller running off the inside shoulder of Jerome Luai. If things click for the Tigers, Jareen Buller's a bit of a smoky for one of the top fullbacks in the competition. Pope with 3 singles so far. Now gets the top edge from McDermott. Does he have enough on it? Well, it's been lost in the outfield there, and it bounces short of the fielder. They'll come back for 2. Geez, there was an opportunity for a catch there, I thought. He must have lost it somewhere along the line, and it falls painfully short. Manages to keep it in field well, saves the boundary. Five from the over so far. Sweeps this one away. Has he found the gap? Has he found enough on this? What a save out there from Thornton, I think it is out there. Saves another 2 runs. Well, he has saved 2 boundaries back to back. Was well played. Well, they've come back for 3. So he saves 1 run on this occasion. Well swept by McDermott. Hope alters his line here, and it's just glided down to short third man for 1. 9 off the over. It was a good one for the Hurricanes. 3 for 120 after 13. Power surge in hand. And still a very delicately poised match, this one. Looking forward to it. Living up to expectations thus far. Just when it looks like one team is about to get on top, it swings the other way. It's been great. Look, Lockie Mack, I think the Tigers are great value to slap on just a cheeky bet for the Tigers to make the 8. If they can click and get a run on, then they're definitely a top 8 team on paper. It might take... I actually think that the Tigers will follow the Bulldogs' trajectory. It will take them, in my opinion, a couple of years to develop this squad and click and fire. So I think to make the 8 would just be phenomenal for them. And I think they're capable of it. Whether or not they actually do it or not, who knows? As the power surge is about to be called, I would say 9th or 10th is probably a more realistic year 1 outcome for them. And the power surge has been called. Power surge activated. And not a bad time to call it. 13 overs, actually, exactly when I said it would be called. Chaudhry is 16 or 14, so he's nicely set. McDermott, 32 off 19. I think they've done this perfectly, the Hurricanes. Beautiful delivery from Overton, though. A full toss right on the mark. Not a full toss, sorry. A Yorker right on the mark. Right on the batting crease. Jammed away for no run. Jamie Overton is the player that the Strikers have turned to. 1 for 13 off his 2.1 so far. And this is a half volley, and it's driven down the ground and dealt with all the way along the deck to the long on boundary for 4. He just missed his mark there, Overton. And Chaudhry deals with it. Baisley had no chance there at mid-on. Three for 124. Overton in again. Bangs this one in shorter. Gets the top edge. It's straight up in the air and it should be caught and bowled. And it is. Overton gets his man. The ultimate payback. Chaudhry goes. And it's advantage Adelaide Strikers now in this power surge. Big wicket. Big wicket. Gets the fresh man out of the crease. And how many times do we see it? The batting team calls the power surge and immediately loses a wicket. Chaudhry, a well-played 20 off 17, but well bowled from Overton. 4 for 124. Still a very delicately poised match. Do they send Chris Lynn in? Is Chris Lynn playing today? More to the point. I'll put him in my multi, so I'm gathering that he is. Oh, well, oh, God, I'm an idiot. The Adelaide Strikers aren't even batting. Jeez, what a moron. Tim David comes to the crease. Got myself all confused there for a moment. Well, Tim David's a pretty good call, especially because he plays for the team that called the power surge and is currently batting. And a dot ball to follow up the wicket. This has been a good over from big Jamie Overton. The new man at the crease, David, cuts it away just for one. And if this over can get restricted to just 4 and a wicket, huge success for the Adelaide Strikers. Massive success for them. Ball and on off stump, outside off stump, and just chopped away for 1. And that was a good over. 6 and a wicket from it. And a crucial wicket it was. Some good work there from Overton. And we're in for a cracking finish to this inning. Still one more over of the surge remains. So a chance for the Hurricanes. Well, who's going to bowl it? It's going to be Thornton. Well, here's an opportunity. Rocks and diamonds, Thornton. Well, this is an interesting one. This could be potentially the over that changes everything one way or the other. To McDermott, Thornton, and he knows he's missed out there. McDermott, it was a half volley on the pads, should have been whipped away, and it's just a single. There's always that one bowler, right? That one bowler that the opposition, you know, are going to target. And in the power surge, Thornton will certainly be the man. Tim David on strike. Thornton's none for 28 off his 3.1. It's an interesting call. Making sure they get their field exactly right here. Wide outside of stump, cut away through the gap for 4. Well played there from David. Five off the first 2 deliveries. Four for 131. 14.2 overs gone. Another boundary here. Big conversation going on here between bowler and captain. Tim David, he just gave them a lot to think about. Thornton in again. Angles this one back towards the off stump, but sliced away from Tim David through the covers for 4. He's thumped it. I mean, he got the in swing, did Thornton, but it's a half volley on off stump. Thank you very much. That's a gift. Well played. Extremely well played, but that was not the best ball. And Thornton, he'll be feeling the pressure now. None for 36 or 3.3. David goes again. Pulls him away. 6, square of the wicket. Well, this was the over. We talked about it. This was the bowler they were going to target. And they are taking maximum value here. 74 meters. over deep square leg, about 5 rows back. And Tim David. He has said this is the over. This is the one where we wrestle all the momentum back. Send it completely in our favour. Moves to 15 or 5. 15 runs off this over. 4 for 1 for 1. Wide down the leg side, a swing and a miss, and it will be called as such. Well, this is a poor over. This is a really poor over now. 16 from it, 2 balls left. Is this the turning point? Big swing at this one and lifts it over cover for 4. Well, Tim David's on fire. Thornton is getting taken to the cleaners. 20 runs off the over. If there's any wrestling fans in the chat, stand back. There's a hurricane coming through. And his name is Tim David. Final ball here of the... Oh, what a letdown. A big swing and a miss. And that's the end of the power surge. Thornton ends his spell. None for 47. Oh, and not for the first time in this BBL 14. We might just be looking back and going, the Adelaide Strikers bowling decisions either at the death or in the power surge. Some questionable decisions, right? Thornton got absolutely tonked. Advantage here slightly to the Hurricanes. It'll be interesting to see, actually, what does the bookie say? Shaney Main, come on Hobart. Four more for Tim David, who's on absolute fire. Stepping across the stumps. Just slashing it away. Beautiful work, and now Lloyd Pope. He's starting to feel the pinch here. 5 off the first 2 balls. Four for 1, 5-1. And that run rate now starting to creep back up to 10 and over. Wide outside of stump. David cuts, misses. And a valuable dot ball here for the Strikers. Oh, yeah, that's what I was going to look up. What do the bookies say here? Do they agree with me that it's a slight advantage here for the Hurricanes? Nothing. Excuse me. Nothing at the moment. Big swing at this one. David gets the top edge. It's going to land safely. When it's your night, it's your night. It could very well be his night. And it is indeed the Hobart Hurricanes favourites at $1.44 with the bookmakers at the moment. But as we know, that can all swing in an instant. And down on one knee, Ben McDermott puts it up into the upper deck. It's into the second tier. A big 6 gets him into the 40s. Jag Masters, ahoy, mate. Same to you. Benny McDermott, he threw everything at that. The shackles well and truly off for McDermott. Hope puts this wide outside off stump, overcorrecting. Well, that's the pressure that a shot like that makes. Four for 159. Pope in again. Reverse sweep. Through the gap for 4. 17 runs off the over. A huge one again for the Hurricanes, and it wasn't even in the power surge. And they are on track here for a big, big score. Well, Jagmasters, we've got to do something in the off-season, right? I'm not the type to just sit around twiddling my thumbs, so that is indeed the case. Cameron Boyce back into the bowling attack. 4 for 163. They've gone up above the 10 runs and over again now, the Hurricanes. With 4 overs left. Down the wicket, gets to the pitch of it and lifts it over the top of long off for 6. What a hit from Tim David. Well, he is in fine form. And the Hurricanes, they are well set here for a strong finish. What do you think of the new layout, though, Jagmasters? I'm assuming you're probably not a cricket fan, but just in general, the new layout. I'm actually making use of my studio. I gave myself a little uppercut during the off season, and I went, you know what? I went to all that effort of having my studio walls painted green. Down the ground here, straight drive, and one bounce over the rope. I sort of gave myself an uppercut and said, I went to all this effort of getting the studio all done up, had the walls painted green, and I've never once, during Wastewater Sports, used the green screen. I said, 2025, I'm going to correct all of this. 2025, I'm actually going to use the studio to its full potential. Especially now that I have quit my job and this is what I do full time. I'm one of those people that's now a full-time content creator. So, yeah, I kind of got to get serious about it all and gave myself the kick up the arse, and I think it looks nice. I can't wait for footy season. And see what it looks like as Ben McDermott brings up his 50. It's been a slow start to BBL 14 for him. And he had some luck. Boy, did he have some luck in this innings. But sometimes you need some luck. And the shackles are well and truly broken now. Ben McDermott back in form. And they push for 2 runs here. Very well run. 4 for 177. 17 overs gone. So you would think the way things have been going with 3 overs left, they're going at least 1 run a ball. So there'll be at least 18 runs to add to the total. Jagmasters, you live in Japan but still love your cricket. Oh, nice. Awesome, mate. That's good to know. When I eventually get around to visiting Japan, I've got somebody I can hit up for a place to crash. Kampai. Ball for 177. Okay, so that's what I was talking about. 3 overs remaining. So you would expect at least 18 runs. At least. The way that it's been going. Which gets them up towards the 200 mark. You would think that 18 is being kind to the Strikers. I think a 200 plus is well and truly on the cards here. And as a matter of fact, they wouldn't be happy unless they end up with 200 plus. As the first ball is pulled away just for 1. And the TV commentators were saying earlier in the innings that a 200 plus is probably a par score here. And anything less than that would be no good. So they've done what they've needed to do. Well, they're on the road to doing what they needed to do anyway. The Hurricanes. Scott, none for 25 off his 2 overs so far. Bowls him! David steps across the stumps to the offside. He leaves too much room. The leg stump was completely exposed. And Scott hones in on it with a perfectly placed Yorker around the legs. David gets a little bit too fancy there. And Scott cleans up his leg stump. Clean bowled. Big wicket. Well, the 200 is suddenly not a given anymore. A fresh man out to the crease. 22 still required to get to that 200 mark. XJC, welcome back, mates. XJC says, Dan, what's the highest number in wickets in a BBL game? I'm not entirely sure what you're asking me. Like, what's the most wickets that one bowler has taken? The whole team? Well, the maximum you can get is 10, so 10. Looped back to the bowler, but it's a bump ball. It was a crowd catch, that one. It's all good, XJC. 10 is the maximum. So once a team loses 10 wickets, that's it. They don't bat anymore. What's the highest score from a whole team after their 20 overs? Well, it's in the 200s, well over the 200s. Jordan puts this one down for a single. Liam in with the rose. Cheers. Liam with the rose over on TikTok. McDermott, he becomes the key here. Just plants this one over extra cover for 6. Ben McDermott, he suddenly holds the keys here. Highest innings total, 273. By the Melbourne Stars against the Hobart Hurricanes in 2022. There you go. Full toss, and it's dealt with. McDermott pulls it over. Deep mid-wicket for 6. Back-to-back sixes. It is. It's funny how Hobart are playing right now. And they are going to set a score that's over 200. By the looks of it, the key could be getting Ben McDermott back on strike. 5 for 191. 2 overs remain. Did Hobart or the Stars win that game? Well, the Stars would have won it because otherwise the Hurricanes would have had the highest score in BBL history because you have to score more than the opposition in order to win a match. Two overs to go, and they've turned to their ace, Jamie Overton. He starts with a wide down the leg side. Well, that's a poor start. Wide is called. And with 2 overs to go, of course, they turn back to their maestro, Jamie Overton, to try and get a breakthrough here. Yep, 2 sixes in a row. Last over. Slower ball, slower Yorker, right on the toes. And Jordan jams it out to backward point for 1. Oh, Renegades on top with a tiny diny. Okay, YouTube subscribers. I'm not talking random stuff. This is all happening on TikTok. McDermott tries to go the ramp, gets the toe of the bat. They come back for 2. Well run. Two tiny dinies from Renegades on top. Cheers, mate. Drifts onto the pads. Turned away. Just the single. XJC says, some girl I've added on Messenger is trying to call me. Please help. How do I block her? You don't need to block even. Just answer and just make sure that make sure if somebody's calling you that you don't want to call you, to make sure that they never call you again. Just answer, but do something completely random. Oh, thank you very much for the rose now. Renegades on top. Honestly, there should be a petition for the streamer to be able to set icons for the GIFs, right? Because imagine if you were able to send like cricket balls or bats, and a big appeal for LBW here for Overton. I feel like there was an inside edge. You may as well review it. If you've got a review up your sleeve, you may as well review it at 5 for 197. I think it's rather irrelevant if they lose the review at this point. May as well call it. Overton was very, very interested. He was the only one really appealing for it. I feel like there were 2 noises. Well, there certainly weren't. Well, if there were 2 noises, it was bat on pitch because it's nowhere near an edge. Maybe a little bit too high. It does hit him on the knee roll on the back pad. Oh, he has snicked it. Okay. I should back myself more often. A clear inside edge. And no real harm done there. Another dino. Thank you very much. Renegades on top. Full toss jammed away from Jordan. Well bowled from Overton. 19 overs gone. 5 for 199. They will surely get to the 200. 210 plus would be amazing for the Hurricanes. XJC on YouTube says, Dan, are you a chill? Actually, let me see if the is the YouTube are the YouTube questions working at the moment? Let's test it out and see. They are working. Okay. They are working on YouTube. XJC on YouTube says, Dan, are you a chill guy or a crash out guy? I'll tell you what, I'm an old guy who has no idea what any of that means. I'm sorry. Big swing at this one from Jordan. And it lands just inside the rope. And they've started the final over with a boundary. Good start to the final over. The 200 is up. Chill guy means you couldn't care less really about what's happening. Or you just really chill. And crash out guy means you're really angry and flipping tables and stuff. Oh, well, I'm most definitely a chill guy. The chillest of the chill. Cut away for 2. 6 off this final over so far. This is the 11th time the Hurricanes have scored over 200 runs in an innings. Jordan on strike. Are they going to push for 2 here? No, they will settle for 1, down to long off. And that makes sense because Ben McDermott now gets a chance to have final say here in this inning. 67 off 33. Very deserving for him to have these last hits. Wide outside off stump. Uppishly played and through the man. They settle for the 1 run. Jordan pulls this one away. It's off the top edge, but it still flies into the stands. And that is a big 6, especially considering he did not get hold of that. I feel like he certainly didn't get hold of that. 88 meters. Certainly not out of the middle of the bat. And it still went that far. 5 for 213. So what that means, XJC, is 5 wickets, 213 runs, and a swing and a miss on the final ball. They come through for the single. They run through for buys. And what have we got here? We've got tiny dinies. We've got hearts. We've got team bracelets. Renegades on top. Sending all kinds of stuff through there on the TikTok. Five for 214. And that is the end of the Hurricanes' 20 overs. So XJC, they get 20 overs each. 20 overs each to bat. The Hurricanes have batted first. They lost 5 wickets. They scored 214 runs. If they lost 10 wickets before those 20 overs were up, that's it. Their innings is over when they lose the 10 wickets. So now the Strikers now need 215 to win this game. Who have we got here? Well, from Renegades on top has asked, do I think this is an achievable total for the Strikers? From what the TV commentators were saying at the start of the match, before a ball had even been bowled, they said this is a 200-plus wicket. Which means that the Hurricanes are on par. Which means it's also achievable in a run chase, right? By that logic. They've certainly got the batting lineup to do it. I mean, Darcy Short and Matt Short alone, if they get going, are capable of racking up 200 runs just on their own if they both get going. It's not likely that they both get going. It'd be a rarity if that were the case. But look, you've got Chris Lynn, who's capable of a big innings. You've got Alex Ross, who is just the consistent anchor through the middle of the order. They've definitely got the team capable of chasing this down. What's the lowest amount of runs in a BBL game? One team, 1 year, and I'm not going to mention team names, but one team 1 year got bowled out for 15. 15. I don't even need to look that one up. I don't even need to look that one up to remember that one. So this is, it's certainly achievable. It'll be a difficult chase. Anything over 200, even on a good batting wicket, it will still be difficult to chase down, irrespective of the situation. 200 plus is a massive score. So this will take a monumental effort, a big run chase, but they've got the players to do it. Jamie Overton as well. He was solid with the ball. He'll be able to chime in. See if there's any update on the scoreboard situation. No, it seems like scoreboard stats are just down tonight. That's all right. Might be back up for the games tomorrow. All right, West World of Sports, the run chase will commence shortly. I'll have a quick break. And we'll be right back after this. Can the Adelaide Strikers chase this? Or will the Hurricanes continue their push towards the top 4? Both teams pressing for a top 4 spot. We'll find out right after this on the West World of Sports. XJC says, is this the first 200 plus score of BBL 14? You know what? I believe it is. I truly think it is. There should have been previous scores of 200 plus, but they didn't quite get there. Renegades on top says, who do you reckon will be the star batter for the Strikers tonight? Oh, this game. You know what? Welcome back, Jordan, by the way. Welcome back. You know what? This has got a Darcy Short special written all over it. But it's also an opportunity for somebody who's often underappreciated in the batting lineup. Oh, you watch it. It's also got the setup for somebody like a Chris Lynn. Sorry. I was just reading the chat room and thinking of at the same time. Somebody like Alex Ross can just stabilize the innings. God, even James Baisley coming in down the order, playing a Daniel Sams type of role. Turning a game around when it looks all lost. But we'll see. I mean, Darcy Short and Matt Short are both kind of due for a big, impactful innings, in my opinion. So we'll see. Maybe both of them. Maybe it's the Short show. Matt and Darcy in tandem. Been a while since that happened. As we await the run chase. Good score for the Hurricanes. We'll see now, can they bowl well to these conditions? Now, the advantage really for the Hurricanes, their big advantage is they will have seen what worked and what didn't work from the Strikers bowlers, right? And they have the opportunity now to adjust. And maybe, just maybe, not make the same mistakes. So there's pros and cons to batting first and fielding first. We'll have to see. Renegades on top. Who do I think will make the top 4 this year in the BBL? Renegades, I love the look of the Renegades. I've been saying that since the start. They've recruited really well in the off-season. And I personally am liking the looks of them. Do you think the Strikers can eat into this total? Certainly. Can the Strikers win? Oh, they certainly can. So the TV commentators were saying before a ball had even been bowled tonight, the TV commentary had said that this was a 200 plus wicket. And that even a score of around 210, 220 would not necessarily be easily defendable. So we'll see. I mean, it's clearly been a good batting wicket. The trouble for the Strikers, I suppose, is they do have quite a few batsmen like Chris Lynn, like Darcy and Matt Short. They're a little bit all or nothing. They're a little bit all or nothing batsmen, aren't they? So they could just as easily lose some very quick wickets early. But I do like the look of the Strikers. They've got a good balanced side for chasing down such totals. Alex Ross can provide an anchor innings just like he used to do at the Brisbane Heat. He's not going to be a big hitter, but he's just going to be consistent, go a run a ball, turn the strike over whenever he needs to. Hold down one end. You've got Baisley, who's capable of coming in at the death and playing on a Daniel Sams type of role. Still a 50-50 game. Yes, well, I mean, we're only halfway through it. You can't judge a pitch until both teams have played on it. Until both teams are batted, until both teams are bowled. You can't judge. So, do I think Gilchrist will come out of retirement? I'll tell you what, I'd love to see it. I don't think it'll happen, but you'd love to see it. One of the all-time greats, right? Over on YouTube, XJC. Don't know if you answered. I went away from keyboard. Did you answer what the dog's name was? We just call her Falcor on the streams. And on YouTube, she's even got her very own emoji. So yes, at this particular point in time, still a 50-50 game. The first few overs will tell the story. The Hurricanes got their best power play in BBL 14 so far. And the Strikers certainly have a team capable of producing a big power play of their own. At the moment, though, the Hobart Hurricanes with the bookmakers. Do I follow the NBL? It's funny. I was just looking at the scores. The Brisbane Bullets at the moment getting absolutely bollocksed by the Illawarra Hawks. 84 points to 68. So the Adelaide Strikers, Matt Short, Darcy Short, Chris Lynn, Ollie Pope, they need Ollie Pope to step up tonight. This is in the fourth quarter. Succulent Chinese meal. I'm sorry, I've only just realized what your username is. That's fantastic. Well, the Brisbane Bullets won the first quarter, 34-29. The third quarter, though, is where they really started to lose their way. The Illawarra Hawks won the third quarter, 34-18. It was really that third quarter that the Bullets let themselves down. Yeah, that's hilarious. I only just realized that username. Succulent Chinese meal. Defunk says the wasted world of manifestos. Well, I do need something to do in the off-season. I do need something to do in the off-season. What could I do? I could start a podcast. Munted Manifestos. All right, here we go. The run chase about to commence. Matt Short, his highest score is 100. Not out. And Darcy Short, 3,011 runs in his BBL career. Matt Short is due, that's for sure. 100%. Will it be the short show? Riley Meredith, one of the key bowlers for the Hurricanes. Renegades on top says, who are you going for in this game? Well, I tipped in the Waste of World of Sports free BBL tipping contest. I did tip the Adelaide Strikers, so I've got to cheer them on to chase this down, right? And the run chase is about to get underway. Riley Meredith with the first ball. Let's go. And it's fended down the pitch for one. They push for the single. That's well run. Well bowled, well played, well run. Oh, this is going to be I can just feel it. It's going to be a good one. And let's face it, we've seen some cracking games in BBL 14 so far. It's well poised for another one here tonight. Meredith now to Darcy Short. Turns it away off the hip for one. Misfield. Thought about the two. But they settle for just the single. The required run rate. We'll keep an eye on that. It's 10.83. So, I mean, I'm not a mind reader, but I would be assuming that they'll be looking to drop this down under 10 if they can during the power play overs, these opening 4 overs. Drifts onto the legs again. Meredith with a huge appeal. He loves it, does Riley Meredith. They're considering the review, and the review is called. Well, this is a huge moment in the game. A big, big moment in the run chase. Matt Short was wrapped on the pads. It looked like it was going a mile down the leg side. It looked a long way down the leg side. Fires it in. It's an absolute bullet, and it's a mile down leg side. This really is a waste of a review. But I can understand why they called it. I do completely understand them calling the review. This would have been a huge wicket. No ban involved. When do I reckon they take the power surge? Well, I'll tell you what. If they haven't lost a wicket and Matthew and Darcy Short are both still out there, you would take it straight away, surely. Run with the momentum. And, yeah, I reckon this will be missing leg stump by about 2 stumps. 2 stumps worth down the leg side. Still reviewing this. This is still getting looked at. Taking a long time to review this. Aaron, 888, welcome back, mates. Original decision, not outs. Pitching in line, impact. Umpire's call, wickets, missing. Yes, it was going a long way down leg side. Ollie is the best. Ahoy, mate. And the Hurricanes have now lost their review. It was a big, big call. None for two. Meredith. Wide down the leg side. And this will be called... They only get the one failed review, Succulent Chinese Meal. One failed review, so their reviews are done and dusted for the night. The Hurricanes. You do only get one. You should use it wisely. Whilst I think it was pretty clear that was drifting down leg side, it would have been a huge breakthrough. So I understand why they went for it. Short. Flips this one away, square of the wicket. Just for the single. Ollie is the best. You're at your dad's house. His name is Andy, and he says, ahoy, ahoy, Andy. Hope you're having a great night. The two of you, Ollie and Andy. None for four. After the first four balls. And a big LBW shout. Oh, now that's wrapped him on the pad. They have no reviews left. I think that was a much better shout than the first one. Might have been an inside edge. It's called a leg bite. Well, that was a much better shout than the first one, in my opinion. This would be a lot closer. But they have no reviews left. And they race through for the leg bite. Let's have a look at this on the replay. Well, it's pitched outside leg, so never mind. Pitched outside leg stump. So immediately can't be out. So none for five. The Strikers. Short. Drives hard at this. Beats the man at mid-off. And that's four. They needed that. That just opens it up a little bit for them. Matthew short. Beautiful drive past mid-off. Ollie is the best, says my mate. Keelan says ahoy. Ahoy, Keelan. Now that's a cheeky sounding name. Stanlake into the bowling attack. Well, they've got some good bowlers here, the Hurricanes. Certainly got some bowlers. And Billy Stanlake puts this one wide outside off stump, but it's sliced away by Darcy Short. Beautiful hit. Well, Darcy Short could be on based on that shot. Now that was a good hit. Stanlake needs to correct his line. That's better. Off the edge and over the top of the keeper for four more. We saw with Ben McDermott in the Hurricanes batting innings. We saw some luck go Ben McDermott's way, and it freed him up and got him into form. Will Darcy Short be experiencing that now? He's just had a big piece of luck. Cuts it away again, but picks out the fielder this time for no run. But a couple of valuable fours back-to-back. Ollie is the best, says Reed is 25, and he's a really good soccer player. Stanlake in again. Half volley, pulled away. Can't beat the man out there at deep square leg. Just the one. Will we be seeing you in the English Premier League one day, Reed? Stanlake in again. This one's pulled away, lifted all the way over the fence. Deep square leg for 6. And that is a great hit. Well, Matt Short, he is seeing them well. Darcy Short has had a little bit of luck, but you need that. And a 69-meter 6 over the square leg boundary. Final ball of this over. Drifts onto the legs again. And Matthew Short says, thank you. Square leg again. 6 more. Back-to-back 6s. And they've started well now. Officially, they've started well. None for 30 off the first 2 overs. Tearing into this required run rate, which was only 10.8 to start. And they're traveling along nicely here. 15 runs and over. 10.28, the required rate. That's the thing about the T20s, right? You get off to such a good start like this. 15 runs and over for the opening 2. But you still look up and see that required run rate at 10.28. Captain Kiko, ahoy, mate. Oh, you just got out of the hospital. You got knocked out in a street fight. Sorry to hear that, buddy. Pulled away for 4. Darcy Short gets involved now. They're on fire here. Matthew and Darcy. Jason Hayden, ahoy, mate. Ollie is the best on YouTube. Says, who's a cheeky monkey? Reed, Aaron, Andy, Diane, Cooper, Monty, or Matthew? Oh, Monty's got a bit of a cheekiness about that name. Ellis drops it in short again. Darcy Short looks for the pull, misses it. They race through for a single. None for 35 here. And this chase has started well. And we're still experiencing scoreboard issues. My apologies for that. It is beyond my control. Ellis with a slower ball this time. That's just played away for a single. Well run. Well played. Jason Hayden says this will be one of the biggest wins in history if they get this. I'm so curious to see what's happened to the odds here. Even 2 overs into this run chase. The Hurricanes were... Okay, the Hurricanes are still slight favourites with the bookmakers here, but the Strikers have come right in. It's 165 now for the Hurricanes, 220 for the Strikers. And that's going to continue to ebb and flow throughout this run chase. Wickets, 6s, 4s, it all changes it. 5 from this over so far. Or 6 from the over, is it? 5 or 6 from the over, either way. Ellis with 2 left. A French cut there from Darcy Short past the stumps. Just the 1 run down to fine leg. Will, ahoy there. This is a hard score to catch. Well, it's going to take a big chase, obviously. Over 200 on any wicket will be hard to chase down. But it was interesting. The TV commentators at the top of the stream, they said that 210, 220 was probably a par score on this wicket. And they tap it down for another single. They're just easily chopping off these singles. The Strikers. Which was quite interesting because obviously we think of 215 plus being a massive score. But from the way they were talking, runs will be easy to come by on this wicket, and it's going to be a more than achievable total. But yeah, I don't know. I'm with you, Will. I think this will be a tough run chase. The Strikers have certainly got the batting lineup and the batting depth capable of chasing down such a total. And they've started in the best possible way. None for 38 off 3 overs. Traveling along nicely here at 12.67 and over. The cheeky monkeys are Monty and Reed. See, I knew it. I knew it. Well, one of them. None for 38. Matt Short, 20 off 9. Darcy, 14 off 10. Both shorts have started very well. Just the start that they needed. Chasing down this total. Meredith in for his second over. Beats him. Just can't manage to reel that one in off his own bowling. A single down the ground. None for 39. 3.2. 10.56, the required run rate. And this is the final over of the power play, and it's clipped away. Square of the wicket off the hips. Darcy Short chimes in with a boundary. They need to take maximum value off this over. Three balls remaining. Well played, that one. Darcy Short. Now a slower ball, a half volley, gets away with it. Flipped away off the edge for a single. None for 44. 171 needed off 98 balls. It seems like a monumental feat. But they've got the best possible start that they could have hoped for. And now, Matt Short tries to whack this down the ground. Did not get hold of that at all. They come through for a single, though. 7 from the over. 1 ball left in the power surge, the power play. A 6 would be massive here. Massive. So would a wicket. Renegades on top says the reason it's such a high score is because it's more of a batting pitch, which is 100% correct. Meredith with the last ball of his second over, the last of the power play, and it's clipped away for 4 off the edge, through the slip cordon. And it's none for 49. A great start. Matt Short, 22 off 11. Darcy, 23 off 13. None for 49 after the power play. Well, the foundation has been laid. And this run chase is on. It's on. And I am here for it. I can't wait. We did say at the top of the stream, this should be an exciting game. 50-50, I described it as to who would win. And look at that worm. Just starting to wrap around each other there. The Strikers were on top. It pulled back. It's pretty even Stevens now. And Jordan comes into the bowling attack. The Hurricanes need a big one from him. Chris Jordan to Matt Short. Power play's over, so fielding restrictions lifted until such time as they call the 2-over power surge. And this is the thing, right? Like, chasing down such a big score, they've got such a good start, but you look up at the scoreboard and see a required run rate over 10 and over. Bats this one back down the ground, just the single. And the 50 is up. 4.1 overs in. $165 needed off 95 balls. Jordan. If he can just keep it tight. Around 6 and over. Oh, God. Renegades on top says, imagine this goes to a super over. I don't even go for either of these teams. I don't know that I could handle that. I mean, it would be great viewing. Absolutely. Slower ball, half volley, driven down the ground by Darcy Short. Well, that was just a gift. He's tossed up a meat pie, and Darcy Short gobbles it up. A 6 over long on. Bread and butter. 83 meters. He didn't even give that everything. That's what's amazing about that. He did not fully commit to that stroke by any stretch of the imagination, and he still sends it 83 meters over long on. Jordan ups the pace a little bit. Short turns it square of the wicket. They come back for 2. That's well run. Darcy Short moves to 31. A dream start here for the Adelaide Strikers. Welcome back, Michelle. Oh, we're in for a blockbuster. The Strikers have started this run chase perfectly. Requiring 10.13 and over now. They're at 12.89. Darcy and Matt Short putting on a clinic. Jordan. Pull the ball outside off this time. Punched away for 1. 10 from the over. What's with the massive run chases? Batting friendly wickets. This is a very batting friendly pitch. Jordan in again. Drifts onto the legs. And it's away for a leg bye. Once again, apologies for the scoreboards. Beyond my control, I've got absolutely nothing I can do about it. We just have to cop that one. We have to live with it tonight, I'm afraid. Wide outside of stump. Cut away. There is protection out there. And it's just the single, but 11 from the over, which is exactly what they need. Darcy Short goes to 33 from 17. 23 from 13 for Matthew. None for 61. The Adelaide Strikers could not have asked for a better start to this run chase. This really is great going. And what we've got here, Jordan's getting his boots taped up. No, getting studs put back in. That's what's happening. Studs screwed back in. $155 off 90 balls. What they need here. Waka into bowl. Starts with a dot, a much needed dot. Oh, he gets through for a single. Well, he managed to bat the ball down, Waka, but it gets away from him. And the single is taken. Hurricanes have bowled only 4 overs of spin in BBL 14. Interesting. None for 62. Waka in again to Matthew Short. Pushes it away to the offside. Just the one run. Darcy Short steps across the stumps, gives himself some room, and he lifts it away. Square of the wicket on the leg side for 6. What a strike. Welcome back, Blake. Waka, 8 from the over so far. Darcy Short this time cuts away just for the one. Out to point. He's going extremely well here. Well, both of the shorts are going very, very well. Big swing and a miss there from Matthew Short. And it only just misses the stumps. What a reply that would have been. He's had a big heave-ho at this. As we expected, Blake, this game very delicately poised. It's in the balance. And Matthew Short steps back, pulls it into the gap, and it's over the rope for 6. Mid-wicket was the target. None for 76 after 6 overs. Darcy Short on 41, Matthew on 30. They are setting themselves up big time here, the Strikers. Looking very, very comfortable indeed at the moment. Well, I might have just cursed them. The commentator's curse has been strong throughout the course of the cricket. Oh, what have I done? What have I said? I might have just done them in here. Stanlake back into the bowling attack. His first ball, cutaway, picks out the man. At backward point, can't get it through. And a dot ball. Such a valuable dot ball. Pulled away for 6. This has gone way back. Oh, the fielder's under it. Well, it looked like it was a mile out of the ground from Darcy Short. And it hangs in the air, and it's been taken in the outfield. Stanley bangs it in. Darcy Short goes on the hook. And it looked like it had gone a mile out of the stadium, but it just hangs in the air, and it suddenly drops. It just drops right on the rope. And the catch is taken, and that is a big breakthrough. This opening stand is broken. Well, that looked like it was out of the ground for all money. And Darcy Short, he falls just short of his half century. And that's a big wicket, that one. One for 76. And that required run rate still over 10. And Chris Lynn, well, this is smart. This is smart. Because Chris Lynn, he will keep the pressure on the bowlers here. It's almost a like-for-like replacement. Darcy Short for Chris Lynn. Or the other way around. Chris Lynn in for Darcy Short. This is about as like-for-like as it gets. Wow, he looked like he got all of that, Darcy Short. It just dropped. It just dropped right on the rope. What a catch it was. One for 76. All right. This game is so delicately poised here. Stanlake drifts onto the pads immediately. Lynn turns it away. Square leg for 4. What a start for Chris Lynn. Billy Stanlake had just taken a wicket. And now he drifts onto the pads. And any quality batsman in the game, you can't drift onto the pads. Get away with it. One for 80. 135 needed off 81 balls. Stanlake in again. Better line and length this time. Push down for 1. Lynn gets himself down to the non-striker's end. Matthew Short, now the batsman in form. The batsman set. Jacko, thank you very much for the follow over there on TikTok. Five off this over so far. The required run rate just dropping down towards that 10 mark. That's what they want, the Strikers. Full delivery. Sliced away to the offside. Just the single. 6 from the over. A good one for Stanlake. 6 and a wicket. A big wicket. Well, I mean, they're all big wickets at this point. But Darcy Short. Quite a big one. Stanlake with his last ball. Pushed away for 1. They might go for 2 here. Just the single. They're happy with that. 7 from the over and a wicket. It's 1 for 83. 7 overs gone. They're on target here, the Strikers. But that was a big wicket. Darcy Short back in the dugouts. We are still very, very delicately poised here. Adelaide Strikers, though, they've got batting all the way down. 10.15 they needed, and Waka back in for his second over now. 15 off his first. Chris Lynn on strike. Well, this will be very interesting. Mighty, mighty interesting indeed. Waka to Lynn. Drifts onto the legs, and that's an easy single for Lynn, punching it down to long on. One for 84. One 3-1 needed off 77 balls. Stepping back and cutting this away for 4. Matthew Short. What a shot that is. Beautifully punched away from Matthew Short. Jordan on TikTok says, dang, guess what's back tonight? The darts. No, the snooker. I don't know. Darts or snooker? Both. They could both be back. Wakar in again. And a half volley. Cut away again. It does beat the man in the outfield for 4. Beats the man out at deep point. It was almost a mirror image of a shot. 1 for 92. The Strikers have got the required run rate under 10. For the first time in this chase. How critical is that? Just mentally. Just looking up at that scoreboard and seeing the required run rates dropped under 10. .122 needed from 74 balls. The darts are back tonight. Premier League darts, is it? What's on? Who have we got on the agenda? Waka, 10 off this over so far. Floats it up again. Cut away. Through the gap for 1. Ah, the World Championship, even better. Is it live? Live on KO Sports. I might have to have a watch. Waka, wide outside off stump again. Short. Just chops it out to cover for no run. 1 for 94. And the Strikers, they are coming for these runs. 10:30 my time. Oh, sweet. Ellis back into the bowling attack. None for 7 off his first over. It's pushed away for 1 on the first delivery. One for 95. The current run rate 11.63. The required run rate 10.14. Short pulls it away. moves to 41. Darcy Short, this is where he got out. Can Matthew continue on? Ellis, bowling well, really, all things considering, compared to how we've seen other bowlers go. Lots of bowlers up over the 10 runs and over mark. So Ellis is doing well comparatively. 1.2, none for 9. Fires it in again, and Chris Lynn goes Linsanity on him and puts this one over deep mid-wicket for 6. Well, it probably wasn't even that far square of the wicket. It was more cow corner, long on. But either way, he got every piece of it. And the batsmen are seeing it like beach balls out there. 8 from this over so far. The required run rate again drops under 10. And a swing and a miss outside off from Lynn. Now remember, the Hurricanes have lost their review. They lost it in the first over. Who have we tipped in this one, Michelle? I went for the Strikers. One for 102. 113 off 68, and a false start here for Ellis. Dead ball. Oh, here's the lotto numbers. I'm not going to look. I don't want to see that. Will Main says, do the Strikers have 102 in 8.5 overs? No, they've got 102 in 8.4 overs. Here's 8.5 right now, and it's cut away. Can't beat the man at backward point. Dot ball. So, yeah, they now have 102 in 8.5 overs. Eight runs off this over so far. Fun game with lots of runs. I probably won't stream it, Jordan, to be honest. I'll certainly chuck it on and watch it, though. An under edge away past the keeper for 4. Hopes after it, and it pulls up in the outfield. Well, so they come back for a third, do they? Well, they had no right to run 3 there. It looked like it was going to race away for 4 there, but pulled up in the outfield. So, has the outfield slowed up a little bit? Those were racing away earlier on. And a very fun game with lots and lots of runs. A batsman's paradise. That's for sure. Well, it was very interesting because at the top of the game, the TV commentators did say this was a 200-plus wicket, and even a score of 210 or 220 was going to be very hard to defend. Such a batsman's paradise it was. And you kind of look at it on the surface, and you see the score that was set, 215, and go, wow, that's a massive total. But based on what we know about the wicket, it should be a good chase. Chowdhury into the bowling attack. One for 106. Looking to go down the leg side here. Matt Short swings and misses. We saw a wicket almost identical to this against the pace in the Hurricanes innings. This time it's a bit more traditional. He lifts it over the infield. One bounce to the man there at deep square leg. And just a single. 2 runs from this over so far. A great one from Chaudhry. Who'd have thought Chaudhry could be the difference maker? Just slowing the pace down. Top edge here from Lynn. And this should be caught. Standing back and waiting for it. A deep square leg. The catch is taken. What an over this has turned out to be for Chaudhry. Lynn goes for 19. It's 2 for 107. Chaudhry has turned this game on its head. What a catch in the outfield. What an over this is turning out to be. That run rate required. They had done all the hard work and they had pulled that run rate down below 10. It now blows out to 10.62, which is very, very close to what it started at, around the 10.8 mark. Big wicket, big moment in the game. It's now advantage back to the Hurricanes. Great bowling there from Chaudhry. What an over this has been. And it's not done yet. He's still got a ball to go. Two for 107. And it's drinks break. Oh, that was the last ball of the over, was it? Yes, must have been. Well, what a finish to the over then. What a finish to the over. Oh, no, there is still one ball to go. They just decided they would have a drinks break. Fair enough. May as well fit the drinks break in, I suppose, while the new batsman's fiddling about, making his way out to the pitch. Why not? What an over it's been from Chaudhry. Turned this game on its head. And very much in favour of the Hobart Hurricanes now. And it's all on the back of that man right there, Chaudhry. 2 runs and a wicket so far. 1 ball to go. And Ollie Pope, they need a big innings from Ollie Pope. He has not delivered at all so far in BBL 14. And he steps back and pulls this one away for 1. 3 runs and a wicket from the first over for Chaudhry. And that has turned things in favour of the Hurricanes. 10 overs gone, 2 for 108. I mean, they're still on target, the Strikers. Chris Lynn really didn't need to do what he did, but that's Chris Lynn. That is Chris Lynn for you. He just can't help himself. He wants to hit it out of the park every single time. That was always his problem at the Heat. He wants to hit it out of the park every single ball. Absolutely, it's still chaseable. They've still got 8 wickets in the dugout. And as this is just pushed down for 1. Two for 109. I don't watch AFL, James. But my off-time co-host, Michelle, who is in the TikTok chat room at the moment, the Metal Maiden, is a big fan of AFL. Stan Lake back for his 3rd over. Slower ball outside off. Cut away. Won't find the gap. They will push for 2. It's a poor throw back. A good throw close to the stumps. And he might have had him. Renegades on top says, do you think the Stars will be able to get a win this season? I reckon they might get a win in the next game, actually, as Short pulls this away. Can't pick out the gap in the outfield, just the one. The boundaries have just dried up a little bit here for the Strikers. I still find it fascinating. The Adelaide Strikers coach is Tim Payne. I feel like it was only yesterday Tim Payne was playing test match cricket. Stanlake in again, cut away. Picks out the gap, but it's cut off and they'll come back for 2. 6 from this over so far. Thank you very much for the follow, Noah. Sixers going all the way. Sixers will be there for sure. The Sixers, it's a BBL 14, I think, is going to be the closest Big Bash League ever. I really do. On their day, there's so many teams capable of winning it, right? You've got the Sixers. The Renegades have improved tenfold. The Renegades are a chance this year. The Scorchers are always a chance. The Strikers on their day. The Hurricanes on their day. I think we're in for a really exciting BBL 14. What's the saying? If you can't do, then teach. Yep. Well, I mean, that's exactly right, isn't it, Michelle? I mean, how many times do we see it in all sports where a really... Oh, Matt Short steps back and pulls this into the stands. He's surely got enough on that. It's almost up into the 3rd tier. And Matt Short brings up his 50 in style. He just frees up his legs here. And it just looks so natural and so pure. 95 meters over square leg for 6. What a way to bring up your 50. And what a way to keep on top of this required run rate. Matthew Short. Let's not forget the contribution of Darcy Short as well before he gave his wicket away. Renegades on top says, do I think David Warner will get back into form for the Thunder? My big question about David Warner, honestly, would be, is his heart even still in it anymore? Does he really care? Reverse sweep off the top edge, and they race through for a single. Well, Ollie Pope. Stupidity there. Going for the reverse sweep when the protection was there at short third man, sort of a fly slip region, and he's nearly picked him out perfectly. Brings Short back on strike. Steps back, just pushes it away into the gap for 1. Yeah, they need more than this from Ollie Pope. I mean, 6 or 5 is fine. He can play the anchor role of the innings and let Matt Short do the big hitting. But you can't be pulling out cheeky reverse sweeps. More traditional cricket shots, thanks, like that. Just push it away for 1, get Short back on strike. That's all he needs to do right now. Two for 124. It still feels like it's so far away here. As Matt Short goes for the big hit, it's high, backing up and taking a blinder of a catch. A potential match-winning catch there, Ellis. Backing up. Takes it over his head as he's falling to the ground. Bobbles the ball, manages to keep hold of it, and that's the big wicket. That's the key here. Ellis loses the ball. It lands on his chest and he reels it in. That could be the winning of the game there for the Hurricanes. That is a massive, massive moment in the match. What a catch there from Ellis. Well, they're under the pump now, the Strikers. This game has now swung very heavily in favour of the Hurricanes. That's a massive wicket. What a catch that was. Falling backwards, losing the ball out of his grasp. A little bit of luck, and sometimes you just need a little bit of luck. Lands on his chest and keeps hold of it. Waka with a big wicket. Alex Ross out now at 3 for 124. Goes the reverse sweep immediately. Gets the top edge. And it falls just short of the fielder. Oh, the reverse sweep, an absolute coach killer. I'm not even a coach and it's driving me crazy. 90 runs needed or 49. The run rate now has drifted out past 11. Pope guides it into the gap for 1. For the first time in this run chase, the required run rate has just drifted out past 11. The problem now for the Strikers is that their big hitters are gone. Darcy Short, Matt Short, and Chris Lynn are all now back in the dugout. They've lost their big hitters. If they were going to successfully chase this down, you feel like they needed at least one of them out there still. Ollie Pope has yet to prove himself. They need more from him. Alex Ross is capable of just anchoring and keeping the runs ticking over. It could be the key, could be the difference maker in this run chase. Chris Jordan, none for 11 off 1. He comes back into the bowling attack. That was such a big wicket. Pope dances down the pitch at him. Pushes it away for 1. 3 for 126. Oh, thank you very much for the share. Trap. Sharing the stream. And Riley McLean says, come on, Canes. Nathan Ellis is definitely my pick for fielder of the competition after that. What a catch that was. That was such a big moment. If he drops that and gives Matt Short a lifeline, slower ball now. Just push down to long on for 1. That required run rate now drifting out to 11.35. They had full control of it, the Strikers. If they do indeed go on to lose this game, they can look back on a couple of key moments. Going for big hits unnecessarily in the context of where they were in this run chase. You would have to say that both Darcy and Matt Short and Chris Lynn, all three of them pretty much threw their wickets away. Pope charges down, reaches out to the offside for some room and cuts it away for 2. Three for 130, 85 needed or 45 balls. Still wickets in the dugout. My concern at the moment for the Strikers is just Alex Ross is an anchor batsman. Alex Ross being left to do the big hitting could become a bit of an issue. He's an anchor batsman. He'll stay out there. He'll push 1s and 2s. He'll get the other batsman on strike. So they really need Ollie Pope to step up here. And a miscommunication almost leads to some trouble. A dot ball, only 4 from this over. It's really starting to get out of hand pretty quickly. Riley McLean, I go for the Brisbane Heat. A good over, this one from Jordan. Now, what do the Strikers do with the power surge now? This one's full, chopped away, well fielded by Hope. Restricts them to just one if they took it. I'm assuming they did, and they did indeed take the single. 5 off this over. That required run rate. Just keep an eye on it. I mean, power surge to come, but at the moment, Ollie Pope would have to take command of that power surge as it stands right now. 84 needed or 43 anyway. Plenty of wickets in the dugout. Jordan, a swing and a miss from Ross. And a good finish to the over. 5 from it. And that required run rate has drifted out to 12 now. They could lose control of this very, very quickly. And, yeah, as I was saying, my concern for the Strikers at the moment in this chase is that they just, in this partnership, Ollie Pope, who is not in form, has to take on the lead role in terms of the big hitting. Alex Ross is doing what he needs to do. He's playing the anchor role, but they might need a little bit more from him tonight as well, the way that it stands. And the power surge, it looks like they're calling it. Well, 13 overs in. You've got Pope and Ross. The power surge has been called. These will be big 2 overs. The boundaries have dried up. Ollie Pope needs to take the lead here. The power surge has been called. And these will be the 2 overs that I think will dictate the winning and losing of this contest. And Ellis to bowl the first of the 2 power surge overs. 3 for 1, 3-1. First ball. Hope goes for it. He hasn't got enough on it, I don't think. It's in the air, and it's dropped. It's dropped in the outfield and goes away for 4. Ollie Pope, is that the little bit of luck that he needs to Ben McDermott style open the shackles and get himself back into form? He did not get any of this, really. It's gone straight up in the air. It manages to go to the rope, but it's been dropped. Oh, it should have been taken. You hate to be critical of a player. It was a tough chance, really, but that should be taken. At this level of cricket, well, it should have been a wicket. It's a 4. Responds nicely, Ellis, with a dot ball. Oh, that would have been a huge catch. 80 from 40. That's what's needed now. These power surge overs, 2 overs that the Strikers, they need to pull that required run rate down. Stepping back, giving himself some room. Pope can't beat the infield. Chaudhry, with some beautiful fielding, restricts it to 1. Five off the 3 balls so far. If we go back to the Hurricanes batting innings, and we remember that the first power surge over was not that good, but they came to life in the second. Ellis in again, puts it in short, cut away straight into the turf from Ross, and just the 1. 78 needed off 38 balls. The Hurricanes here. A big 2 overs, and they've got the advantage. Certainly got the advantage at the moment. Ellis, 2 balls left here. Bangs it in short again, and ramping up the batsman Pope. Just steps back and cuts it down for the 1 run. This is good bowling. This is very good bowling. A dot ball or even a 1 on this final ball. This would be huge. Ellis in again. Final ball. Wide outside of stump. And that is beautiful bowling. They come through for the single. 8 from that over. 3 for 139. Hurricanes well on top now. That run rate required has blown out to over 12 and over. .67 now. They need to take maximum value here off the second power play over. Who's going to bowl it? Do they turn to Chris Jordan? Do they go to the man who made the big breakthrough, Chaudhry? Who do they turn to here, the Hurricanes? This is the big over. They go a long, long way to winning this match, the Hurricanes, with another tight over here. And they've gone to Chris Jordan. Well, there we go. They've gone to their international. Chris Jordan, none for 16 off his 2 overs so far. It is the final over of the power surge. Ross on strike, goes for the ramp, gets it over the top of the infield, and it's away for 4. Alex Ross being cheeky, ramping it over the top of fine leg there. From a long way outside off stump. And I'm afraid if you're relying on shots like this, though, if you gamble, the house always wins. I would not want to be relying on those sorts of shots for a run chase, but it's a good start. They need a lot more of those this over. Jordan in again. Fallen on off stump, driven. Can't beat the man at mid-off, and it'll be just 1. Well, they don't even come through for the 1. He hit it so hard to the man there, it's no run. Couldn't pick the gap. 72 needed off 34. If they come out of this power surge, honestly... Oh, if they come out of this power surge still needing over 12 and over... He'll feel like he missed out there, Alex Ross. A full ball. Half volley on off stump. He charges this time. Doesn't get hold of this at all. And he picks out the man at mid-on. And the Hurricanes are well on top here. What a catch. Tim David. Alex Ross falls. Like I said, he's not a big hitter, Alex Ross. He is not a big hitter. But he is in a situation now where he can't just play the anchor role. They had to go for the runs. He's not a big hitter, and he hauls out to mid-on, sorry. And Tim David takes a great catch, and the Hurricanes, oh, this is theirs to lose now. 13 runs and over required. Ross is on his way, 8 from 8. Was forced into playing an unnatural game. And the Hurricanes... What a performance. And they'll jump up into the top 4 here. if they do indeed keep this up and go on for victory, the Hurricanes will jump up into the top 4 and replace the Brisbane Heat. You would think. Jamie Overton to the crease, though. His highest score is 45 not out. He's going to need all 45 of those. Four for 143, 72 needed off 33. 3 deliveries left in the power surge. Overton just cuts it away for 1. Can't beat cover. They haven't been able to elevate the ball over the infield or pick the gaps when they go along the ground. This has been well bowled from Chris Jordan. The Hobart Hurricanes have clearly won the power surge. And that required run rate now over 13 and over. This power surge has not worked out at all for the Adelaide Strikers. They need 2 maximums here. Pope cuts it away over the top of the infield. Well, there's one. One bounce over the rope. And down the tunnel. And they needed that. Ollie Pope could be the key here. A big boundary. But they've just not done enough with this power surge. And the big wicket, another big wicket falling. Alex Ross being forced into the surge was certainly not the call. 22 of 16. Pope getting himself into form. Final ball of the surge. Final ball for Jordan's 3rd over, and he hits the pads. Away for a leg by well bowled Chris Jordan, well bowled Nathan Ellis, well bowled Hobart Hurricanes in the power surge. They definitely won that little period of play, and they've got themselves well on top now. The power surge is done and dusted. The Adelaide Strikers still need 66 to win, and they need to do it at 13.2 runs and over. It is a big, big ask now. And we were talking about the key moments to this run chase, the big hitters in the Adelaide Strikers lineup. Darcy Short, Matt Short, Chris Lynn, they all threw their wickets away. All 3 of them threw their wickets away. It wasn't it wasn't even a case necessarily of a good ball. They threw their wickets away. Chaudhry back into the attack now. 1 for 3 off his over. 1 over so far. And he follows the batsman, who's forced to punch it down to long on for just the 1. 65 to win. 29 balls remaining. 6 wickets left in the dugouts. Jamie Overton on strike. Steps over to the offside. Tries to give himself some room. Swings and misses. Down for a leg by. 64 needed off 28. Chaudhry in again. Tosses it up. Swept away from Pope. They should push for 2 here. Out to the square leg boundary. They do come back for the second easily. Ollie Pope is the key here. He really is the key. Ollie Pope, he's not found form in BBL 14 so far. He's had a little bit of luck go his way to get himself to 25 off 19. Can he see this all the way through? Call of 2 immediately as he drives this out to extra cover. And they get the 2. That's well run. Well, that's what they need to do here. It doesn't need to be a big hit every single time. It'd be so easy to look up at the scoreboard, right? So easy to look up at that scoreboard. See that you need 14 runs and over. and do stupid stuff like that. Ollie Pope goes for the reverse sweep, misses it. And a big appeal for LBW from Chaudhry. They have no reviews remaining. The Hurricanes, not that I think that would have been out. It pitched outside leg. But still, silliness there. And Overton just punches this away to the leg side for another single. Maybe push for two, they do. Well, that's well run. Four for 158 at the end of that over. 16 gone. The Hurricanes, their worm is on top. For the first time in the match, the Hurricanes' worm is on top. A key couple of overs there in the power surge. The Strikers just... I don't understand why they called it. It's a tough situation. It's a really tough situation. When to call the power surge? I personally would never call a power surge with Alex Ross at the crease. Not because Alex Ross is not a good batsman, just because Alex Ross is not a big hitter. And we saw what happened. He was forced into making big hits that he is just not set up to do, and he got himself out. But you also, Alex Ross was there at the time. So Ollie Pope needed to take more of the strike in that situation. But anyway, they're in this situation now. 14.25 runs and over. It's gotten a little bit out of hand. 57 needed off 24. 6 wickets left in the dugout. Meredith back into the attack. Just placing this one outside off stump. And it's cut away for one. Ones are fine. The Hurricanes will very happily see the Strikers take ones every ball. And they'll win this game quite comfortably. .56 needed off 23. A couple of big hits. We've got to remember there are very short boundaries here. This is still a gettable total, but they need to start hitting sixes. Well bowled. Meredith, a Yorker, right on the toes. And it's jammed away by Overton for one. Ollie Pope, 29 of 22. He hasn't quite got moving. It's just a little bit out of hand now, I think, for the Strikers. They've just let it drift out too much. It was a missed opportunity. They were chasing this down with ease at one point. Picks out the man, a deep extra cover. Does Pope. Just the one run. Singles are not even going to get them close at this point. The required run rate's gone out to 15. Where does the one big over come from? It won't be from Riley Meredith. It likely won't be from Nathan Ellis. Where do they get the one big over from? Overton goes for it. Straight down the ground. And it pulls up in the outfield. And they'll come back for two. Four for 163. So, yeah, just looking at the Hurricanes bowling, the bowling attack is actually quite good. The Hurricanes bowling attack is actually competition worthy. Should they get to the finals, they'll be a red-hot chance. They've got such a good bowling lineup. It's hard to know where the big over will come from. Meredith again, right on target, fallen on off stump. And all they can do is push it away for a single. The required run rate, 16.1. Boy, did this get out of hand quickly for the Strikers. Ian Stanley, thank you very much for the follow over there on TikTok. 51 needed off 19. Well, we saw a similar scenario, didn't we, with Daniel Sams and the Thunder. But where are they going to get that one big over from? Goes the ramp. Can't find the gap, and it's just one. Beautiful bowling from Riley Meredith. None for 25 off his 3. 50 runs now off the last 3 overs. It really is a monumental effort now. This is looking like victory for the Hurricanes. They surely can't lose it from here. Surely not. Chris Jordan to bowl his last. He's 1 for 25 off his 3 so far. 50 runs off 18 balls. Here we go. Jordan to Ollie Pope. Ollie Pope's the key. Steps back, gives himself some room. A slower ball, though, is just pulled away for 1. Misfield will give them 2. The misfield gives them 2 runs, but they do need more than 2s. A slight misfield might have cost them earlier in the innings, but not now. 2s are not going to win it. 4 for 167. 48 of 17. Ollie Pope steps back, gives himself some room, cuts it away, and it's over the fence for 6. A big 6. Boy, did they need that, the Strikers. Ollie Pope, he's not looked comfortable all BBL 14 so far. Despite this score, he still doesn't look comfortable tonight. But that is a big, big 6, and that will give him a lot of confidence. Cuts it away over deep cover for 6. 42 needed off 16. Jordan into Pope. Goes the ramp and picks out the man. The fly slip / short third man, and Pope's gone. And there goes the game. If it wasn't over already, well, Ollie Pope, that's about the 4th or 5th time he's tried that tonight. And he finally gets just enough on it to pick out the man that they have placed there for that exact shot. And he gobbles it up. 5 for 173. Ollie Pope, who was badly out of form here in BBL 14, but he probably was the hope for the Adelaide Strikers. 42 or 15 needed now. Newman out to the crease. The Hurricanes. Very, very close now. James Baisley to the crease. We know that Baisley is capable of some big hits, but what a situation to just come in cold and be expected to perform. Picks out the fielder on this occasion, just the 1 run. It will be a bridge too far, you would have to think. Well, they're still talking it up on the TV. as if it's game on. 41 needed or 14. I think that's a bit ambitious. Overton and Baisley are both capable of big hits, we know, but the bowling's just been too good for the Hurricanes. Jordan in again, onto the legs, clipped away. The fielder is back there. They'll get two. But as we know, twos are not going to win it. Five for 176. Final ball here for Chris Jordan. 2 for 36. He's bowled well. Can he finish it off now with one big delivery? Overton goes for the ramp. Misses it completely. 18 overs gone. 5 for 176. 39 runs needed off the last 2 overs. They're an over behind here as well. Well, this could come into play. This could come into play. Struggling for time here. The Hobart Hurricanes are 1 over behind. And what that means, of course, is an extra fielder up in the circle for the final over. Well, that'll make things very interesting if they can get Ellis away here. Ellis and Meredith. It's going to be very difficult to get either of these two away. Ellis to Baisley. Baisley, it's wide outside off stump, and it's a wide to start. Well, at least it wasn't a no ball. That's the way they'll be looking at it. At least not a no ball, which would give the free hit to the batsman. A wide to start. He's got to bowl it again, but it's only 1 run. And, of course, they need a lot more than just 1 run at the moment. 38 off 12. Baisley. We know that he can send them. Oh, he's swung and missed at this outside off stump, and it's going to be wide again. 2 wides in a row to start this over. Ellis just needs to calm down here. He has bowled so well. None for 28. Or none for 26 he was before he started this over. And he starts with 2 wides. And that is just 2 gift runs here for the Strikers. And again, Baisley goes after it. Can't beat the man at extra cover. Two wides and a dot. Well, they came through for the 1. They pushed through for the single there. 36 needed off 11. Never say never, but geez. A monumental effort it would be. Overton and Baisley. Overton on strike. Ellis in again. Beautifully bowled. Full and right on middle stump. And gets an inside edge down to the protection there at fine leg. Just the 1. At 5 for 180, though, this is still, in of itself, been a decent score for the Strikers. Just some key moments, of course, as we were talking about. Some wickets got thrown away, letting the team down. Ellis bangs it in short, and it's been lifted up over the offside. Picks out the man at deep point. And Baisley's on his way. And the Hobart Hurricanes now surely have done enough. And it's Mitch Owen out there who failed with the bat tonight. But he takes a nice catch. 4 runs and a wicket off this over. 35 needed off 9 balls. They've got the job done, surely now. The Hobart Hurricanes. Liam Scott comes to the crease. 30 career runs in BBL. I don't know whether that's just that he's not a batsman or I don't know what the scenario is there exactly. Six for 180. Ellis in against slower ball. Beautifully bowled. They'll push for two here. They have to. Direct hit would have him. They come back for the second. .33 needed off 8 balls. Six for 182. Hurricanes. Well on top here. Ellis, 2 balls left. Fallen on off stump. Picks out the man again. Just the one. They've just picked out the fielders. The Strikers, batsmen, they haven't been able to pick the gaps. .32 needed off 7 balls. Last ball for Ellis. Half volley outside off and picked out the fielder again. They come through for the single. And they've just picked out the fielders. The Strikers, batsmen, have not been able to find the gaps. Overton keeps the strike, but they need 31 off the last over. And it's going to be Riley Meredith, one of the best bowlers in the BBL. And they need 31 to win, the Adelaide Strikers. After a promising start, just threw some key wickets away. And as I said, like they literally just threw the wickets away. Riley Meredith, none for 25 off his 3 so far. 31 needed, so it's got to be done in 6s. Yeah, cheers. Ollie is the best. Six for 184, 31 needed off 6 deliveries. Meredith. Full toss. It was over the hips, surely. And it's been pulled away for 4. Is this going to be called a no ball? That was above waist height, surely, this ball. Oh, close, close. But he starts with a boundary. He's a big man, Overton, and it's just dropped down at the last minute. How huge that could have been. Oh, that would have made things very interesting. A call of a no ball and a free hit there. 27 needed from 5. Meredith in again. Puts it in shorter this time, and it's been clubbed away for 6. Over cover for 6. Jamie Overton. 21 or 4. We can talk about all the what ifs. He's nearly wiped out the security guard. A furious Jamie Overton with back-to-back boundaries, a 4 and a 6. 21 needed or 4 balls. Oh, a wide or a no ball. And a no ball and a free hit would make things very, very interesting here. Meredith. In again. Half volley on leg stump. Driven down for 1. They're going to have to push for 2 here. And they get the 2. That's extremely well run. That is such good running. I think he's got himself in. "19 off 3 balls, 3 sixes sends us to a super over. A no ball and a free hit makes this very interesting indeed. And we can start to ask all the what-if questions because they've got themselves so close here, the Strikers. So close. And if some of their big hitters just did not throw those wickets away earlier, what if? 19 off 3, 3 sixes is all that will do it now. Meredith with a full toss, and it's not going to have the distance. Chris Jordan claims the catch in the outfield. And Jamie Overton is potentially on his way here. He's not going to walk. They're going to have a look at it. And the Hobart Hurricanes, even if this is caught or not, they have won this match now. Because it needed to be a 6. It needed a 6. Chris Jordan claimed the catch immediately. Into those big mitts. No, he's dropped it. That's hit the ground. But it doesn't matter because they've won anyway, the Hurricanes. The crowd erupts into a chorus of boos here at him claiming the catch. But it's all largely irrelevant. They've got the win anyway. And it's all about the what-ifs now for the Adelaide Strikers. They got themselves so close, yet so far. Decision pending. Clearly not out, I think. Yep, not out. But 17 needed from 2 balls. Only a no ball now would save them. Riley Meredith can honestly bowl this from 10 meters behind the stumps. It is unforgivable if he gives away a no ball free hit from here. 19 needed off 3. Six for 196. It's still been a monstrous effort from the Strikers. Two deliveries left. Oh, can you imagine if he bowls a no-ball free hit here? Meredith in. On target, clipped away for 4 on the leg side. But it won't be enough. 13 runs needed off one ball. Jamie Overton needed to come in earlier, I think. Alex Ross, on reflection, and it's easy to say with the benefit of hindsight, but yeah, Alex Ross either needed to come in at first drop instead of Chris Lynn so that he could play more of the anchor role, or they needed to not send him in and needed to move Overton up the order. Wide outside of stump, picks out the fielder, and a single to finish it. The Hurricanes have won. The Hobart Hurricanes win by 13 runs, 12 runs. 11 runs. Okay, I was close. The Hobart Hurricanes win by 11 runs. 6 for 203 for the Strikers, chasing the Hurricanes 5 for 214. And there were just some key moments there. The Hurricanes clearly won the power surge moments in both innings. Batting and bowling, the Hurricanes won the surge, and that proves to be the difference in the end. And yeah, the Strikers just not really getting their surge right, or yeah, you've got to think on the fly. And as I said, it's easy with the benefit of hindsight, but I'm not sure that I would have gone with the batting lineup the way that it was. Alex Ross was forced into a position that he's uncomfortable with. Alex Ross is not a big hitter, but he was in a situation where he was there for the power surge, which was probably not ideal. They could have put Baisley or Overton up the order. If they knew they were going to call the power surge anyway, it would have made more sense to me to throw one of those guys in who are capable of the big hits, as we saw, and get them out there for the surge. But anyway, those surge overs were certainly the key moments of the game. A big win for the Hobart Hurricanes. They will now... where's my screen here? There it is. They will now move into the top 4, I suspect. Oh, they're just behind the Heat on net run rate. So there you go. That victory takes the Hurricanes up to 5th. The Strikers, they remain, well, they drop down 1 because the Hurricanes have gone up. So the Strikers drop down to 2nd last spot on the back of this. But this is such a tight BBL 14. This is going to be so good. This tournament is shaping up so well. We are starting to see quite a few teams that are capable of winning on their day. And it's going to be such a fantastic tournament moving forward. I am here for it. I can't wait. Wasted World of Sports will be bringing you as much of the action as possible throughout the course of BBL 14. I thank you very much for being part of this one. It's, yeah, look, 11 runs. It certainly wasn't comfortable for the Hurricanes. I feel justified in my call that it was going to go down to the wire. Maybe not as tightly down to the wire as we expected, but I still say it was a 50-50 game, and it was the 50-50 moments that certainly proved to be the difference, and they all went the way of the Hurricanes tonight, getting the better of both power surges, in my opinion, and that proved ultimately to be the difference. A fantastic win for the Hurricanes anyway, puts them within touching distance of the top 4. It's only net run rate that's letting them down, but that will be all right because the Brisbane Heat, who are 1 above them on the table, have got the Sydney Sixers coming up, and that's going to be a tough ask for the Brisbane Heat. Even though it is at the Gabba, it should be another great game here on the Wasted World of Sports. Thank you so much for joining us here, wherever you are joining us from. We're live on YouTube, live on TikTok, live on Facebook, bringing you all the Big Bash action on top of our regular coverage of the NRL and the rugby union throughout the normal course of the year. Thank you so much once again. I hope you've had a good night. That was a fun game. And I'll catch you guys for the next one. Until then, cheers. I'll sign off TikTok first, if I can find my mouse. There we go. It's over here. There we go. And then we'll shoot over to the outro video on